Hello, Jonathan here again. Last video I promised that we'd go through some editing in more detail, so that's what I intend to do. So what we're going to do today is show you how you can go from this starting image to this more refined image, in my opinion anyway. The first thing that I would do with this image using the adjustment brush in Lightroom is just to darken this area. Now I do still want a little bit of separation going on because obviously that's black and we've got this here, so I do want some separation still, but I want to darken it because personally I think it will look better. So I'm going to start by selecting an area. I'm going to take that down, possibly take some shadow down as well, and then I'm going to brush that in. Now you can see, well, I don't know whether you can see in there in the video, there's a bit of ghosting, so with this tool just be careful. That's darkened that, and I'm going to take a little bit more. I'll possibly take that down a little bit more. I can still, on my screen, I can still see a little bit of separation there. So that's that first, and to be honest, I'll probably take a little bit more off round this side as well. So I'm just going to do that with the adjustment brush. Now you may have noticed, again it might not come through on the video, but you may have noticed some changes down here. What you can do is with the tool you can go to erase. I've made the brush slightly smaller, and then I just tend to sort of come around and take a little bit off the areas that I think will have been covered. Now the very important thing on this is the edge of the inner circle is where your brush is going to be, so you need to sort of try and keep that so that you don't end up with horrible ghosting lines around where you actually want it to be. So let's just take a little bit more out here. You can see I've got a little bit of a line at that side, so I'll switch that back. I'll make the brush smaller, and then I'll come in and redo that area, but it's just lightened up in here. That's probably for the quick edit that I'm going to do. That's as much as I would do there, so I want to close that tool off. What I'll then do is, the only thing that I really want to concentrate on is getting rid of the stray hairs, probably this light bit here, which I think to me is ever so slightly distracting. There's some hair here, and I'm probably going to leave that bit in. So once I've done the adjustments that I want, I'm then going to swap over into Photoshop. I'm going to create a copy and edit that. Okay, so we've got our image in Photoshop, and the main things that I want to concentrate on are the hairs, tidying up the hair a little bit, predominantly getting rid of these strays, possibly a little bit of work on the eyes, and possibly a little bit of spot removal, but that's just to show the process. So I'm going to start with the eyes. The eyes, I'll show you a quick method for lightening and sharpening eyes. Now granted, in this image they don't necessarily need lightening up. They could possibly do with a little bit of sharpening, and I would like to add some definition into them. So I've gone for the circular tool. I've dragged around the first eye. If you shift and then drag around the second eye, I've got both eyes selected, so I'm going to copy that layer, paste it into a new one, and then I'm going to duplicate that layer. So I'll hide the duplicate for now. So this one is brighten eyes, and this one's going to be sharpen eyes. Okay, so I'm leaving that one out at the minute, and to brighten, so I've created the copy, and all I'm actually going to do is come into screen, into the mode, screen them, drop it down so that it looks realistic. Now I know that we've got this area here, but what we can do, obviously what we will do is get rid of that. So let's get the eraser and make the brush small. Use a soft brush for this, just to sort of blend in the corners, and I tend to take darker parts out. Obviously you can spend a little bit more time. This is the whole point of this, is showing you a quick edit. So we can see that we've lightened up the eyes. That's probably, that is too much, so just take that down a little bit. There, I think that's quite nice. That looks quite nice. Something that would be a good idea on these eyes, if I zoom in, you can see there's not lots and lots of detail in the eye, possibly just slightly missed focus, but what I'm going to do is add some details in. So I'm selecting from the colours in the eyes, I'm going to go for a brush tool, and I'm going to select a fairly small size brush, and I'm just going to draw in some bits. Now take your time doing this, obviously, and look at the construct of the person's eyes that you're doing to make sure you sort of follow how they're looking. And don't worry that they, because obviously this isn't going to be the mode that I do them in finally. What I will do is I will just take out that little bit there, and then I'll do the same across on the other eye. That's kind of as much as I want to do, really. It's just to add some detail, and then what I would do is adjust the blend mode. Now you can see that certain blend modes will work and certain ones won't, and it depends on each eye. Everybody's eyes are going to be massively different, and what you get results wise. What you can do to go through different blend modes, if we go to normal, I've got the pointer selected, and I do shift and then the right or left arrows. I can scroll through and see which ones, and I actually think that the darken one works best here, and I'm going to just drop that down ever so slightly, just so that it's visible still, but it doesn't look unnatural. And then what we'll then do, so that was eye detail, what I'll then do is in the sharpen layer. Now this is only going to sharpen what's already there, so obviously I made that visible, and that's over the detail, so you lose the bits we've just done. So you can see that's after the changes, and that was before. So here I'm going to go to filter, high pass filter. I generally use about 5.6 when I'm doing eyes. So if I do that, I will then erase, again using a soft edged eraser, erase the bits that have gone way over, because, well, they generally make it look worse, basically. So we'll take that out. So you're really concentrating on the eye, and then we change that blend mode to overlay, and you should be able to see it sharpens it up quite a lot. I think there you've got also the added detailing. So let's zoom out. take all of them off and see what difference that makes. Now what I may well do there is actually drop that down slightly. I just want it to be bright but a little bit subtle at the same time. Okay, so I think that's, I'm happy at the eyes there. So now what I'm going to do is hair removal. There's lots of things that could be done with this image. Could be that this fringe could be tidied up. If I wanted to spend a long time editing, to be quite honest, I tend not to spend that much time editing images. I try and get as much right as I can in the first place, and then we can concentrate on actually just getting a nice image. So I've selected the heel brush, taken that bright bit out down there. I'm going to make the brush slightly smaller, and I'm going to come and take this out. And try and obviously make it look as natural as possible. Be a bit easier on these bits. It's a lot easier now with Photoshop's tools. There's a massive improvement on how they work these days. So that's that. I'm going to leave that bit of hair. Done the eyes. I also want to do a little bit of spot removal. So again, I've got the healing brush, created a new layer for it just so that it's non-destructive, and taken those spots out. Obviously if there were more, then you could spend a lot more time doing it, but I think that gets us very close to where I think this image can be. You could spend some time and soften the skin, but I don't think this image actually needs that as such. And there's my detail. So basically all I would do there is I'd now export that back into Lightroom. So I think that's the end of that quick tutorial. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments anything specifically that you might want. I'll leave a link to my gallery if anybody wants to see any specific editing that I've done around images in there, then let me know. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you come back again. Thank you.